Since the MCO was first announced, many of us start to do indoors activities such as yoga, aerobic exercise, and others at home. Exercise is very good to our body. However, exercise or training too hard or fast is also a common factor of sport-related injuries. How can proper exercise technique reduce the risk of injuries? Let me, Mr. Bay, tell you an important technique to reduce the risk of injury when doing exercise in topics today. Hi students, welcome back to Pei channel. I am your Form 4 Physics teacher, Mr. Pei. In this video, I will continue to discuss about the effect of time on magnitude of impulsive force in our daily activities, and also the related problem solving involving impulse and impulsive force. From the formula of impulsive force, which we learned in section 2.7 part 1, F equal to mv minus mu over t. Therefore, we can make two conclusions. They are: first, the reduction of time impact will result in increasing of impulsive force. Second, with increasing of time impact will result in decreasing of impulsive force. From previous video clip, section 2.7 Part 1, we had discussed the benefit of decreasing time impact to increase impulsive force, such as we can increase the high speed by using high tension string or racket, or kicking a ball which is filled with enough air pressure. From this principle, we can maximize the effect of impulsive force in our daily activity, besides the application in sport activity. Pestle and mortar is used to pound spices in traditional cooking. They are made from hard material. When pestle is moved down with high speed and stopped by mortar in a shorter time, this resulting higher impulsive force and cause the spicy and food crush easily. While in construction activities, a foundation of building is laid by piling the pile with pile driver. The pile driver will rise to higher position, which can gain enough gravitational potential energy and then release. The pile driver is made from hard material and then will collide with pile in shorter time, thus providing a larger impulsive force and drive the pile inside the ground. Although effect of larger impulsive force bring a lot of benefits in our daily life, but it may also bring negative effect to us, such as traffic accident on road, and sport player get serious injured when large impulsive force acted on their body. Therefore, we can minimize the effect of impulsive force by increasing the time impact, such as a goalkeeper catches a fast-moving ball with his hand by wearing soft glove. The glove can help to increase the collection time, thus reduce the impulsive force. Besides, a baseball player catching a fast moving ball with his hand moving backward. This may increase the time impact and resulting smaller impulsive force added on his hand.
Now we are going to part 3 of the lesson, which is discussion regarding problem solving involving impulse and impulsive force. The question I selected is from module KM2 Negeri Melaka 2021. This is the question section A from the subtopic 2.7, question number 3. Let us read the question together. Diagram 3 shows a helicopter dropping a box of mass 55 kg which touches a sandy ground at a velocity of 12 meters per second. The box takes 2 seconds to stop after it touches the ground. What is the magnitude of the impulsive force on the question? Student, you may pause the video clip for more time to complete the question. From the question, we know that the mass given is 55 kg and the velocity 12 meters per second indicate the initial velocity of the box dropping from the helicopter. The box stopped after 2 seconds. That means the final velocity for the box touches the ground is 0 and the time taken is 2 seconds. So in the solution, m equal to 55 kg, u, which is indicate initial velocity, equal to 12 meters per second, v, final velocity, equal to 0, and t equal to 2. Formula we use to calculating impulsive force is F equal to m v minus u over t. So we just substitute all the value given. Finally, we get the value is equal to negative 330 Newton. The question asks us to give the magnitude of the impulsive force. So the answer is 330 Newton. But what is the meanings for negative sign of the answer? The negative sign indicates that the impulsive force acting on the box when touches the ground is actually opposite to the direction of the box dropping from the helicopter, which is in downward direction. Therefore, the direction of impulsive force acting on the box is in upward direction, which indicate as negative in the answer. This question is also from the same module KM2 Negeri Melaka 2021. Let us read the question together. Question number 6. Diagram 5 shows Azman bend his knees upon landing in a long jump competition. His feet hit the sand with a velocity of 5 meters per second. The mass of Azman is 60 kg. What is the impulse acting on Azman? For the question, you may know that the m is equal to 60 kg and 5 meter per second is the initial velocity of Azman. He will stop when his feet touches the sand, so that indirectly we know that the final velocity v is equal to 0. The formula to calculating impulse is equal to mv minus mu. We just substitute all the value given and we get the answer is equal to negative 300 Newton per second. Therefore, the answer is C. The negative sign is also indicate the impulse is in the opposite direction. After the discussion regarding the problem solving involving impulse and impulsive force, now I would like to discuss with you some of the technique to answer the paper 2 section B, which is normally 20 marks. The question I selected is also from module KM2 Negeri Melaka 2021. Subtopic 2.7. Let us read the question together. Diagram 1.1 shows the effects of jumper falling from a high place to ground when the parachute is not open. Diagram 1.2 shows another jumper having the same mass falls from the same height with an open parachute. So from the question, the main difference between diagram 1.1 and 1.2 is the condition of the parachute. In diagram 1.1, the parachute is closed and the jumper falling down. While the diagram 1.2, the parachute is open. So the parachuter is jump with safe condition. Normally, question A is 1 mark given to state the physics term of definition. In this question, the question asks regarding what is the impulsive force. So the answer is rate change of momentum 1 mark, or you can give rate of impulse. Normally, in question B, you will need to do the comparison, state the relationship and differences between two diagrams. In this question, 5 marks is given. So that means you need to give 5 points to the answer. Let us discuss the answer together. Notice to the diagram 1.1 and 1.2. Compare the acceleration. So this is first point you need to answer. The impulsive force. Second, time impact. Third, relate impulsive force with time. Fourth, and conclude the relationship between acceleration and impulsive force. 5. So this is the 5 points you need to state in the question. So the first, we compare the acceleration. In diagram 1.1, the parachute is closed, so that means the parachuter is straight fall from high position. While for the parachuter in diagram 1.2, the parachute is successfully open, so that the air resistance will against the motion of the jumper. So that means the parachuter will be jump slowly due to the air resistance. So the answer for the first point will be the acceleration in diagram 1.1 is greater than 1.2. Second, for impulsive force. Impulsive force is the force acting on the person. So for the person who feel the pain more, that means the impulsive force is more. So in this case, surely we can see is the jumper in diagram 1.1. So the answer for second point will be impulsive force in diagram 1.1 is greater than diagram 1.2. For the third point is regarding the time impact. So as I mentioned, the diagram 1.2, the jumper will be fall down slowly due to the air resistance. So that means the time impact in diagram 1.1 is less than diagram 1.2 because the jumper in diagram 1.1 is straight falling from the high position without air resistance. So the fourth point is relationship between impulsive force and time impact. So we can get it from point number 2 and number 3. So we know that when the time impact is short, the jumper will feel more painful, right? So therefore, we need to write as when the time impact increases, the impulsive force decreases. The last point is ask us to state the relationship between acceleration and impulsive force. We can get it from point number 1 and number 2. In diagram 1.1, the jumper accelerates faster, causes more painful. Therefore, when the acceleration increases, the impulsive force increases. In question C, student will need to explain the condition, situation given with correct theory. In this question, is regarding the pestle and mortar. You need to explain how pestle and mortar can be used to crushes the food easily. So in this question, since it is asking how can crushes the food easily, that means larger impulsive force must be applied or acting on the food. So for impulsive force, formula is F equal to mv minus mu over T, so that m mass, v velocity and time will be affected the impulsive force. So to make the force greater, the mass, velocity must be greater and the time impact must be short. However, in this case, the mass of pestle is always constant. So we can increase the speed of plasma when moving down and stop immediately when touches the mortar to shorten the time impact. To shorten the time impact between pestle and mortar, we need to select hard material because hard material will decrease the time impact between pestle and mortar. So first point, you can mention the pestle and mortar is made of hard material. Second point, pestle is brought down with very high speed. Second point, just now hard material, first point, first mark. Stop by mortar in shorter time. So short time will be third point, and last, produce large impulsive force. So we'll get full 4 mark for this answer. Question D. Diagram 1.4 shows a pile planter model used on a building construction site. You are required to modify the design of the pile planter model so that the work to plant the pile in the construction area becomes more effective. State and explain the modification based on the following aspects. The mass of pile driver, the maximum height of piles, pile driver's rigidity, the power, engine power of the crank, piles shape. For question D, full marks is 10. So in this question, 5 modification already given. So you need to give the explanation for each modification. So for the first, the mass of the pile driver. So you look at the figure, the pile driver is at high position. So for the mass, you need to choose must be big or small. So in this case, the mass we choose must be big because we know that force equal to MA. And here the force is actually weight and the A is actually G, acceleration gravitational. So that means as the M increase, the gravitational force increase. So this is the first modification and explanation we can think about it. Okay. So for the second modification, the height, maximum height of pile. So the pile must be at high position or low position. Which one? So definitely we need to have higher position because higher position given us higher gravitational energy, which you learn the formula for gravitational energy is equal to mgh. This one you learn at your PT3 syllabus. So as h higher, energy produced higher. Okay, so the energy referring to gravitational potential energy. So the third one, turgidity, hard or soft. So in this case, we need to produce higher or larger impulsive force, so that we need to choose hard material. So we need to choose hard material because we want to produce higher impulsive force, which can done by decreasing the time impact. This is similar as example for pestle and mortar. Okay, we use the hard material to achieve shorter time impact and consequently produce larger impulsive force. Okay, so power, in terms of power, must be strong. Higher power, that means we can do more work in shorter time. Okay, so power formula we learn at PT3 is equal to work done per second. So that means as the power increase, more work will be done in shorter time. Okay, and the last one is the pyre shape. For pyre's shape, the pyre is actually will be touch the surface of the ground. Okay, so in this case, the end of the pyre must be sharp. Okay, why? From PT3, you also learn that the pressure is related to force per area. Okay, so with the sharp end of the pyre, okay, so the area will decrease and produce higher pressure to the surface of the ground. Okay, so for the fifth modification, the pyre shape must be sharp at the end. Reason is due to smaller area and produce higher pressure. So let us see the answer together. So I advise and encourage you all to write the answer in the table form so that the marker will be more easier to read your answer. So as I mentioned, the first modification, the mass must be big. First point, to produce greater force. Second point, so the force you can write as to increase the gravitational force, also can. Second, the height of the pyre must be high. Third point, because we want to gain higher gravitational potential energy. Okay, so third modification is the rigidity of the pyre driver, which must be hard to produce larger impulsive force or shorter time impact. So for this point, you can also mention increased impulsive force. Okay, same as the shorter time impact. The fourth modification, engine power must be strong because more pyre planting work can be done. Fifth modification, the end of the pyre must be sharp. As I mentioned, is to reduce the surface area at the end of the pyres so that can produce higher pressure. Okay, so that's all for the discussion for section part 3. I hope that this discussion regarding the SPM format question can help you all.
After the discussion of time impact to the magnitude of impulsive force with examples, do you have an idea to reduce the risk of injury when doing the exercise? Yes, you are right. We should increase the thigh impact to reduce the impulsive force, such as bending our knees when jumping down, using a soft mattress or yoga mat when doing exercise to lengthen the thigh impact and reduce the impulsive force added on our body.